Hello and welcome to this video. I've been camping for some time now, and somehow I've managed to build up a collection of sleeping pads, and I thought I would just make a video on good points and bad points of my 4 main mats. These are all very popular brands. I have a Thermarest Neo Air X-Lite, I have the Trekology Ultralight 140, I've got the Exped 9 down mat, and at the bottom of the pile I've got the big red, which is the insulated static VLux from Climate. All 4 mats are very good. Let's get that out of the way at the start. But I want to talk you through pros and cons of each one. If you're thinking of buying one mat, you know, which mat should it be? We'll start at the bottom of the pile. This is Climate's insulated static VLux, and it is the extra wide version. Now, I have had the best night's sleep camping on this mat. This mat is wide enough for a side sleeper, it's wide enough for shuffling about, it's wide enough to lay flat on your back with your arms by your sides. This mat really should be my favourite, but it has one bad thing, which may just be a personal thing to me, but the valve went. And the valve went while I was camping in the winter, and it wasn't a very warm night. So I lost faith in this mat, but that's not to say that would happen every time. I bought this second hand originally, and these are the old style valves. They're push valves, they push in and turn, and they are renowned for breaking. Now I've contacted Climate, they sent me new valves for free. I fitted them, it was okay for a bit, and then it started to go down again, and then I realised that a crack had formed in where the valve meets the mat itself. So that's a major problem, but it's an old mat, you know, it was second hand for me. I've had it a little while. Like I say, it's such a shame, because out of all of them, I say it's the one I've slept the best on, but I personally have lost a bit of faith in it, and I'm almost too scared to take it out these days. So yes, it's a very good mat, it's a very comfortable mat, it's a very warm mat. I'm going to put dimensions and R value on the screen now for you to see, because I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll look it up later. But this one, you know, the R value is good, the dimensions are great, and its pack size is decent. I'll show you the pack size of all 4 together, and this one being the red one, you can see how big it packs. So that's the Climate. Now this one is the Exped 9. Now this is a down mat. So it's an inflatable mattress, but in this top layer there is a certain amount of down laced in amongst it, and what that gives you is more R value. So this is my winter mat. I've never had an issue with this mat, I've never been cold on this mat. It is a glorious thing for cold weather. It's comfortable, it's long enough. I mean, this is the long and wide version, but it's long enough for me. I'm 5'8", and there's a bit of room, so a 6'2" person could easily fit on this mat still. I say this is the wide version. It could do with being 3 inches wider, because you just get that little flop of the arms off the edge. That being said, you know, I'm a side sleeper generally, so I lay on my side, it's perfectly fine. And this is, you know, I won't use anything else in the winter. I love this mat purely because, you know, you lose heat from underneath you, and this stops that happening. The R value is monstrous, and it's by far the warmest mat I have. Again, I put on screen now the details. So this is the long and wide version, so we'll put the length and the width, the R value, also putting the cost on there. Now this mat's downfall is its pack size, because it packs so much bigger than the others, but I think during the winter time it's well worth it. For a lightweight summer trip, you know, to me it's too big packing wise. If I was going up a mountain in the snow, then yes, I would take it, but anywhere where the temperature is reasonable for weight and size, I'd perhaps think about a different mat. But during the winter months, this is your baby. So that's the Exped 9. This is the Trekology Ultralight 140. Now I also have the Ultralight 80, which is slightly thinner and doesn't have the built-in pillow, and it's a decent mat and it's comfortable, but it has no R value whatsoever, so it's a strictly summer only. But this one, this is the Ultralight 140, because it's so thick it has some R value. I believe the R value is about 4.5, which is okay. You know, 3 seasons, it's fine. And again, you know, it's got raised sides, it's got the built-in pillow, which is not everybody's cup of tea. I still use a pillow with it, so the built-in pillow is, you know, it's a little bit pointless. It has the built-in pump, so you can pump it up yourself by hand. It's a budget mat, this one. It's under £50, so out of all of them, it's by far the cheapest. Now, I've not had any problems with this mat, but there are some people online saying that these do fail, so it's something to be aware of. You know, if you're buying something cheap, will it have the longevity of say, the Exped mat, which is, you know, 4 times the price. So things to consider there. But as a mat, it suits everything. I've used it a lot recently in the sort of spring, summer. I've used it quite often because it's small enough to pack. It's still quite big, but it's small enough. And it's wide and it's comfy. The side walls help you stay on the mat. If you keep it slightly underinflated, it's really comfy because it really sort of holds on to you. You know, and it's wide enough that you don't get the dangling arms off the edge. You know, the arms are on the side walls. This is, however, a slightly shorter mat, so a 6-foot+ person, I think you're going to struggle because, say, I'm 5'8" and my feet are always on the very end of this mat. And I think that is partly due to the built-in pillow, because by nature your shoulder sits where the pillow is and your head's on the pillow, and you've got, you know, 4 or 5 inches above your head. So if there was no pillow, you could just move up the mat a bit, but because it's there, it forces you to put your shoulder where you put your shoulder, and it forces you to put your head there. So I end up with my feet right on the very end of the mat. So, as I say, if you're a 6-foot+ person, then maybe it's not for you. Yeah, our value, size, cost, all that sort of thing is on the screen now. And then a little look at the pack size of it next to the others, you know, and you can make up your own mind. But it's decent, you know. I've not had issues with it. I find it comfortable, I find it easy to inflate. I've got no problems with it. Okay, and last but not least, this is the Thermarest Neo Air X Lite. I'll tell you the bad things about it first. The bad things are, it's a little bit noisy when you lay on it. It's incredibly thin, so your shoulders and your arms drop off the edge. But its good points are pack size and weight. You know, this is tiny. This is a, what, 500ml bottle of water size when it's packed. It's ridiculously small, it's ridiculously light. It's incredibly reliable. I've had this 3 years. I've had no problems with it. It goes up, it goes down, it packs into its pack nicely. They're a really good company, Thermarest, and they make good mats. But what you're saving on weight, you're losing on comfort. So it depends what's important to you. If you're all about lightweight pack size, lightweight camping, lightweight everything, then this is the mat for you, because it's wonderful in that sense. If you like a bit of luxury, then this maybe isn't for you. Again, you know, length, it's mummy style, so it tapers at the end. That's all about saving weight and size. Stats are on the screen, and you can clearly see this is the smallest one to pack. It's the lightest one to pack. So this used to be my main mat for well over 1.5 years, 2 years. That's all I used until I started picking up other ones. So I've got a bit of a soft spot for this. And really, you know, if you could afford to have all of them, then have all of them, because you can pick and choose for different types of trips, which is what I do. You know, this is my backpacking one. It's for lightweight trips, it's for when I want to save room in the bag and all that sort of thing. If I want a bit of luxury, then I'll take one of the wide boys. If I want to keep warm, I'll take the Exped one. If you could only choose one mat and you're going to be camping all year round and you're not worried about weight, then maybe the Exped one is the one. But it really is down to a personal choice, and have a think about what you're going to use it for, when you're going to use it, and that's down to you then. So a word on pack size. Big Red, I think it's a decent all-round size. It's not too big, but it's not small and it's not light either. I think it's a kind of a happy medium, this one. What I will say about getting it back in the pack, because it has 2 valves for deflation, it's very easy to get this one back in the pack. Let the air out, you know, lay on it for a couple of minutes, roll it up once roughly just to squeeze the air out, unroll it, fold it up, bish bash bosh, back in the bag. Very easy. Stuff sack is ideal size. Exped down mat 9. Pack size, you know, it's a bit of a monster, that is quite big really. It's almost the size of a small sleeping bag. So for winter it's good, but the rest of the year it is quite large. Getting it back in this stuff sack, it can be a bit of a chore because there's down in there, because it's got the built-in pump. All of those things make it tricky to get it back in this pack. It can be done, obviously, because I've done it, and I've done it many times, but it is a bit of a faff and it can be hard work. But the rewards with this mat is, you know, it's lovely and warm. Pack size of the Trekology, you know, it's not the biggest and it's not the smallest. It's a nice happy medium. You know, it's quite big. It's long and thin, which is different. Makes it easier to pack in some senses. But out of all four, this is the hardest one to get back in the bag because it's got the built-in pump. You have to kind of squeeze all the air out of that and seal that up by closing that valve. And then you've got another valve for letting the air out at the end, which is fine. You can get all the air out, but it's like the stuff sack is just a tiny bit too small. You know, if they just made it a bit bigger, it would be easier to pack, and then you could cinch it down after. But I've found this one, out of all of them, you know, there have been days where I've struggled out camping and gone, no, I'm just stuffing it in my bag and sorting it out when I get home. So hard to pack, this one. Thermarest Neo Air X Lite, pack size, you know, that's ridiculous. It's not much bigger. I'd say it's about the size of an Nalgene or a, you know, 500ml bottle of water. It's tiny. It's so easy to pack. You know, even in this pack, it's still, you know, you can still squish it flat. It's so small. Getting it back in this pack, easy enough. The valve's right at the end. Undo the valve. I tend to just lay on it. All the air comes out. Roll it up roughly. Unroll it. Fold it up. Roll it up again. Job done. Very easy to pack. So that's it on the mat video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Do subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. If you could give this video a thumbs up, I would be most grateful. I'm not recommending any one of these mats. I'm just giving you my opinion on their pluses and minuses. You know, they're all good in their own way, and they all have faults in their own way. It very much depends on what your purpose is, what you're going to be doing with it, how much you're willing to carry, what's important to you, all that sort of thing that I've mentioned already. So yeah, I hope it was helpful, and see you again soon. Bye for now.